Hello friends! Welcome to day 11 of me trying to post every single day in October. A couple days ago I made a video called movies to watch this fall that aren't horror movies, and in that video I said that I would have a whole separate video just for horror movies because I love them. And this is that video. My sister has a friend over, so if you hear them making noise, I am sorry. I'm not gonna tell them to be quiet, they're having fun. We're gonna have to deal with it. Like I said, I love horror movies. Some of my favorite directors of all time direct basically strictly horror movies. I have pretty bad anxiety, which is why I think it's funny that I like horror movies, but I think I'm able to like them because it's controlled fear. If it gets to be too much, I can just turn it off. It's no big deal. I also think I just like the adrenaline rush that comes with it because there's no consequences. Maybe a nightmare or two, but that's it. Starting off with the one I watched kind of recently, now that I'm thinking about it, it was probably quite a while ago. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. This came out in 2022, I think, and it has Rachel Sennett in it. And I love her so much. It's about a group of friends that are out of town for a little vacation, and they want to play a game called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's basically just Mafia, but through playing this, somebody actually ends up dying. So everybody's trying to figure out who killed them, and it's this whole mess. And it is so funny. A lot of movies on this list aren't funny, but this one is so funny. I didn't really like it at first because I was like, oh, this feels too modern. It feels like it's trying to be trendy. And I was like, no, it's just a satire. It's supposed to be like that. The next movie is directed by one of my favorite directors of all time, Ari Aster, and that is Midsummer. This came out, I think, in 2019, which is a lot more recent than I thought it was. I didn't think it was a long time ago, but I was thinking maybe 2016. It's such a weirdly specific year that I have in mind of this movie come out. But it came out in 2019. It's starring Florence Pugh, and I love everything that she does. It's about this group of people that go to a little Swedish village for a midsummer festival, and it turns out to be a cult, and it's so insane and it's visually so stunning. It really is the craziest thing I've ever watched. It's so good though. This next one is by another one of my favorite directors, and it's Us. This one also came out in 2019. I guess 2019 was a really good year for horror. And this one is about a family who has this murderous doppelganger copy of their family. I don't know how to explain it. And it's also insane. Everything that he makes is so insane. I definitely recommend this one. It'll probably mess you up for a little bit, but it's really good. The next one is A Quiet Place from 2017. No, I lied. The next one is A Quiet Place from 2018. The whole cast for this is absolutely incredible. It's about a family trying to survive in a world overrun by these creatures that hunt by sound. So they have to stay dead silent their entire lives, or else these monsters are gonna come get them. I haven't seen A Quiet Place 2, and I'm pretty sure there's a new one that I also haven't seen, but this one's really good. It from 2017. There's been a couple versions of this movie, but the 2017 one is my favorite. I mean, the cast. I feel I bring up the cast in all of these, but this cast was so talented, and it only gets better in It Chapter 2, It Part 2, I don't remember what the word in the middle there is. The second one, the sequel that they made. It's obviously based on a Stephen King novel about a clown that comes to Maine and just terrorizes children. Hush from 2016. I watched this for the first time in freshman year, and I remember I was literally grabbing onto my friend next to me because I was this is so scary. It's about a deaf writer who is kind of living in a secluded area in the forest, and some masked intruder breaks in, and she has to try to protect herself and live while this person is, trying to kill her. The Taking of Deborah Logan. Whenever people ask me for horror movie recommendations, this is the first one I always give them. It is so good. As I'm sure you know, if you've seen any other video that I've made, I love mockumentaries. I think they're so fun. I think they're so interesting. I also really love found footage horror, and this mixes both of them. That's incredible. It's about this documentary crew that goes to this woman's house, and this woman's mom lives with her and has dementia, and they're trying to document the progression of this disease. And it's going pretty normally at first, but it gets really insane. It's psych horror, and it's culty, and it's supernatural, and it's so good. It's done so well. A girl walks home alone at night. I watched this for Strong Leads either this time last year or back in April-ish. I don't exactly remember. Not to be oh my gosh, this is so underground, but I feel not a lot of people have heard of it. At least not the people I talk to about movies. It's filmed entirely in black and white, and it's pretty slow paced for the most part, but I think that makes the whole thing so beautiful. Oh, I can't do it justice just by talking about it. You need to watch it. Please. It's about a girl who walks home alone at night, what a surprise, but she's a vampire, which is sick. And she specifically preys on men who mistreat the women in their lives, and I think that's sick. I think that's awesome. Orphan. This one has to be one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I mean, this is a list of my favorites, but of all of these, this is top 3 probably. It's another psych horror. Who's surprised? Not me. About a couple who adopts this 9-year-old, and they're, trying to raise her like the child she is, or the child they think she is. But weird little red flags start popping up with her. She knows about a lot of things that she probably shouldn't. And it's very obvious she's harboring this really big secret. The entire Saw saga. I watched Jigsaw recently and I don't like it. I don't like Jigsaw, but I think Saw 1 and 2 are like classics. Like, I think they're really good. Basically, the whole series is about this evil puppet dude named Jigsaw, and he traps people in these like facilities almost and forces them to make choices that have to do with their lives in order to actually get out and survive. Final Destination. Guys, these movies suck. I do not like these movies, but they're like classics. They're Halloween classics. You have to watch them at least once. Final Destination is about a group of friends who I'm pretty sure they just like missed their flight or whatever. I don't remember exactly why they didn't get on, but the plane ends up crashing and they're supposed to be on that flight, so they were supposed to die, but they didn't. So death still comes after them, just in like worse and worse ways. Because it was their time to go, so death is still gonna come get them. Jacob's Ladder. This movie is so good. I watched it for the first time earlier this year and I wasn't really expecting much. I don't know why, I had no reason not to be expecting much, but I just didn't have my hopes like super high up. And I should have had my hopes way high up because it still would have exceeded them. This is a movie about a veteran from the Vietnam War who's just plagued by like hallucinations and flashbacks. Everybody's like, oh, you have PTSD, it's whatever. But it's not just that. There's, again, this big secret. This big secret that's making all these veterans experience the same symptoms to the extent that they are. Visually, again, it's just incredible. It's very like confusing, but I like it a lot. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. This is probably one of my favorite musicals of all time. It's so fun. It's about a barber named Sweeney Todd who teams up with this baker named Miss Lovett, and basically he kills his clients and then gives them to Miss Lovett so she can make meat pies. I never realized how gruesome that really sounds until I said it out loud. But it's a musical, so it's fun. And lastly, Hereditary. This is another one by Ari Aster, so I'm just bound to love it. Basically, Hereditary is about this family whose grandmother passes away, and after that, like, everything kind of crumbles. There's these weird, strange occurrences happening, more people are dying, it's insane, and it's a psychological mess, and it is so good. I think this one is also in my top 3 favorites. It's just, it's so good. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you had a fun time watching it. I had such a fun time making it and like compiling this list. Hopefully you have an idea of what to watch this Halloween, or just in general if you like horror movies. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Oh my gosh. It's obviously based on a Stephen King novel. Based on the Stephen King novel. Based on the Stephen King novel. Oh my god, I'm sweating.